Hello and welcome to the Vogue Business and Scalefast Masterclass series on how to succeed in luxury direct-to-consumer. My name is Alicia Cutigan and I'm the Head of Advisory at Vogue Business. Throughout the 5 episodes of this series, I'm joined by brands from fashion and luxury to discuss how to succeed in luxury D2C. And today, for our final episode, I'm thrilled to be joined by Alex Timon, the co-founder of hosiery label Hēdoïne, to explore the topic of building trust and intimacy in shopper relationships. Hi, Alex. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Anisha. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
It's a real pleasure. Well, Alex, to kick off, could you tell us a little bit about your background and Hēdoïne and as the brand and how you started off?
Sure. So I'm Alexandra Timon, the founder and CEO of Hēdoïne. I started my career in consulting at PwC, where I spent 5 years helping big corporates turn around before I followed my passion and deep dived the startup scene. A few years after that, my good friend and co-founder Anna and I have talked about stereotypes about women, how they're portrayed in advertising, and that until today, it still needs an urgent makeover. So during the conversation, we just realized we have the same vision for a modern feminine brand, just that we needed products. So we asked ourselves, what product do we want to reinvent? What hasn't seen innovation in many, many years? And what is just utterly wasteful? And that was tights. This is how it all started. And in 2019, we launched Hēdoïne with award-winning leather-resistant tights. Ever since, we've grown really quickly, despite a pandemic slowdown, and despite Brexit obstacles. And we've sold over 100,000 tights until today. We have a very strong sustainability agenda. We positioned ourselves as innovation leaders, having launched 2 world's first within less than 2 years. And we have an incredible community of Hēdoïnes and a fantastic team.
Thank you so much, Alex, for introducing us to that story. And it sounds like such a phenomenal growth in such a short space of time. I mean, hosiery is such an intimate category. How do you cultivate trust with customers to enable them to feel confident sharing, I guess, their personal information, especially when it comes to such an intimate category like hosiery?
Yeah, sure. Well, trust is key, and in first instance, you trust people. So I believe that it all starts with the people behind the brand, so the founders and the team. So if you as a customer go on our, for example, Hēdoïne Instagram account and you reach out to us, you will know who you're writing with, because we introduce our team members to the community. We talk about who we are and what we do. Even I personally leave my Instagram public so that anyone can reach out if they want to, and actually people do that. And I have received messages from women and men. 20% of our customers are men, who reach out to give me feedback, to say or suggest what kind of product they would like to see in the future, or simply to say how much they love wearing Hēdoïne tights. And you know, why is that? It's because customers nowadays, they demand not only transparency in terms of the product and the production, rightly so, because you want tights that are free of harmful chemicals and that are responsibly produced. But they are also curious about who they buy it from, who are the people behind the brand. And Hēdoïne is a reflection of me and vice versa. So there's a consistency between the brand, the team, and me. So that's what speaks to people, because that's authenticity. And knowing the people behind the brand, what they stand for, creates a much more open and meaningful conversation with customers. So, for example, one of our values as a team is to say things like they are and to be brutally honest. So that's why we, for example, explain that our biodegradable tights are actually 85% biodegradable, and that this is the highest percentage you can currently reach. And that it will, you know, take a few more years of research and development to bring that to 100%. Or we explicitly say that our leather-resistant range isn't indestructible, because in the end, we talk about very thin, fragile material. Yet it's the closest to it, because they last at least 5 to 8 times longer, or even like an average pair of tights, or even longer, depending on how you treat them. So I think people appreciate that we don't act like it's perfect all the time, and we put in the effort to explain things. And I think that makes it easier for the community to open up as well.
Thanks so much. It's really interesting that you take that sort of radical honesty approach, and I think that opens up a conversation that goes two ways as well. This is such a discrete category, and it's one that people don't often talk about a lot. I mean, I can't remember the last time I had a conversation with a friend about the tights that I was wearing, but it is something that a lot of certainly women, perhaps men as well, and people of non-binary disposition who are wearing this, and it's a category that they probably have as part of their everyday wardrobe, I think. How did Hēdoïne position itself as, I guess, a partner to customers that empowers them with those reliable products that I guess would serve people in their everyday or professional needs, but also as an innovator in the sustainability space? Because you mentioned quite a few different innovations that you've introduced to the category as well.
So when my co-founder and I started, we knew very little about tights and how they are produced. And sometimes that's your benefit, because you enter an industry with a complete fresh perspective. You ask questions, you challenge the status quo. And in our case, that has worked. So having worked in banking and consulting before, we've churned through hundreds of tights over the years, and so did our peers as well. And no item in your wardrobe represents throwaway fashion more than tights. And sometimes they don't even survive one wear. So that means millions of tights end up in landfill every single year. And I think we've all once been in a meeting where we felt that a ladder is creeping down our legs, and how uncomfortable and unconfident that makes you feel, because nobody wants to present in front of a crowd looking like that. And not to mention the comfort. Often you have bands that are thin that eat into your skin, or tights that sag and you constantly need to pull them up. So in the end, I mean, that's an item, it's visible, you wear it for hours. I mean, if they survive for that long, close to your skin. So it should be a really comfortable product that's durable and that makes you feel good. And that was the challenge, basically to turn tights that usually don't last long and are not comfortable into a loved product. And looking at our exceptionally high recurring customer rate, I would say that we overcame that challenge, because our tights are not only more durable, they are extremely comfortable, they're soft, they're shaping, and extremely sexy, because they don't have the seam underneath your belly button. They have wide waistbands that are really comfortable, and they actually stay in place. So how many times have I received feedback from customers saying, I've never felt sexy in tights, or never felt really comfortable and confident in tights before wearing Hēdoïne tights. And that's exactly what we wanted to achieve. And in terms of sustainability, we wanted to tackle the lifespan of tights first, meaning making them more durable so that less tights end up in landfill. And as a second step, we tackled the afterlife of tights, where we introduced a recycling program in which we collect tights from all brands and send it to a partner that upcycles them into tires or insulation material. And to bring that to the next level, we recently launched biodegradable tights in 30 and 50 denier, and we are currently in the process of replacing our entire portfolio with biodegradable yarns. And furthermore, we produce in the UK and Italy, where workers and the environment are treated fairly, where the water is being reduced that we use during the production. We only work with suppliers that are certified and that we've met in person. We make sure that all our tights are Oekotex certified, so basically making sure that they are free of harmful chemicals. Our packaging is made of recycled paper, and the list goes on, and we explain all that on our Hēdoïne.com page. And I can see from the feedback we receive that our customers really appreciate the thought that we put not only into the product, but also the production and the paper.
That's such a comprehensive mix of innovations and then utility. I'm really excited. I mean, I've actually not worn Hēdoïne product before, but I wear tights all the time, so I definitely need to try the product now.
Yeah, we need to send you some.
Alex, you also operate a subscription model, which is a fairly new route to consumer. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. since convenience is so important and you very often think of tights the second you actually need them, we implemented a subscription model that gives you discount on the tights as well as full flexibility on the delivery frequency, as well as the products you receive. So if you were to say, I want every second month to receive 2 or 3 pairs, I can then choose which kind of product I want to add each time, because depending on the weather, you maybe want different denier, so that's the thickness of tights, or a different waistband height, or a different color. And people usually like to have a variety of tights at home. And very often, because we wear them often, we wash them often, well, at some point they need to be replenished. So with a subscription model, you get the right tights at the right time without needing to worry about it.
Thanks so much, Alex. You've mentioned something curious on your website that I wanted to ask you about, which is that Hēdoïne is an attitude. So what does that philosophy mean?
Yeah, so Hēdoïne definitely is an attitude, and we want to bring a new reality to the forefront and give new meaning to modern femininity. That is strength, boldness, confidence, but also fun, joy, and good energy. So that's even manifested in the name of the brand. So Hēdoïne is the hedonistic heroine. So she's aspirational, at the same time she enjoys life to the fullest. And if you are a Hēdoïne, you are naturally curious and you are unconventional. You pave your own way and you help others along the way too, and you open doors for them. You challenge the status quo, you have goals in life and you dare to achieve them. So it's integrity, it's connection, it's meaningfulness, but it's also celebrating life to its fullest and to not taking yourself too seriously, and understanding that being a bit of a badass is sometimes just way more fun.
Oh, thank you so much, Alex. I didn't actually know that that's where you get the name from in terms of combining the words hedonistic and heroine. So it's really exciting to find out that those are the values that sit directly behind the brand name. We've come close to the end of the conversation, but I'd love to ask you finally, what is next for Hēdoïne?
Well, we have some great product innovations in the pipeline that I cannot wait to launch. And we are expanding our channels currently. We're scaling the business, so it's a very exciting time. And also we are planning a crowdfunding campaign soon. So we already have very well-known investors, such as the former CEO of Jimmy Choo, the founder of Hello Body, and the head of Ecom and Allbirds, and a long list. But we also want to get more customers, more people from our own community, into the cap table, make them shareholders, make them part of our journey, and basically get more Hēdoïnes on board.
That sounds super exciting. So I wish you all the very best of luck with those future ventures. Well, thank you so much, Alex. I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today.
Thank you, Anusha. Thanks for having me. It was great.
Yeah, real pleasure to be able to have this conversation with you. Well, this is the final episode of our masterclass series in partnership with Scalefast, and we hope that you have enjoyed the series and that you found the insights shared by our guest experts informative and engaging. There's going to be a report summarising insights from across the full series that you can register to download. Many thanks and take care.